Our focus is restoring wild salmon and trout populations to the Monterey Bay region. We've got a pretty ideal setting here for a conservation hatchery. We've got the Berry Creek, which is good, cold, fishless water. We don't have to worry about, sucking in native fish through the screens or anything. And here we've got Big Creek, which is still has extant wild steelhead populations. So this is a great place for a conservation hatchery. There has been a loss of large swaths of habitat. Lots of the watershed has been developed. Santa Cruz is a big place, and San Lorenzo flows right through downtown. Aside from that, there's global conditions that are causing this decline. So we have a lot of uncertainty in the ocean phase. Once we can do everything in our power for these fish in fresh water, and then once they're out of the ocean, it's kind of at the mercy of ocean conditions. And I would make the case that changing ocean conditions have had a major impact on coho and steelhead. So most of our planting work is in the San Lorenzo River. That's where the majority of our fish go. That's where we trap the most fish. That's where we release the most fish. Scott Creek is the closer and probably the preferred one that we'd like to see restored because it's got the proximity and the habitat. So we do San Lorenzo and Scott Creek. So the interference between hatchery and wild fish can have kind of a domesticating effect. You have these hatchery fish that are well adapted to life in a hatchery. So that can interfere with their ability to behave as wild fish when we release them. We try to mitigate that by selecting fish from all throughout the run, keeping them in the hatchery for as little time as possible, and selecting parentage and genomics that make them as diverse and wild as possible. So we really do try to limit the hatchery influencing forces on wild populations.
Okay.
I'm Mark Galloway. I'm the facility manager here at Monterey Bay Salmon and Trout Projects. As we enter into winter, we gear up for increased activity both on the fish culture side of it and also the weather side of it. Things get more active because of the weather, but particularly because of the fish. We enter the spawn taking season, early life rearing season, and then releases. And that all happens within a space from January through May. So we're exceptionally busy. My favorite part is during spawning season. I think any hatchery manager, any salmonid facility hatchery manager will tell you the highlight of the year is spawning season. Because it's not only a chance to get in and handle the big fish, but it also gives us feedback as to, hey, is this thing really working? Well, yeah, it is, because we're getting adults back. And we start the process. The cycle continues. So that has always been like the zenith of the hatchery year for us.
I think that we're going to have a good steelhead year. I think we got a lot of. I think that'll translate into next year's outmigrant class. For coho, I think we're fighting the good fight, but there's just not many coho here. They're just not around.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that it's impossible for that to happen, but it's going to take stuff like hatchery production. It's going to take things, being proactive about fisheries.
Absolutely.
That a lot of people, they think the money's better spent elsewhere, but I think Mark's done a great job of proving that this can be done. This can be a successful production hatchery that mimics wild populations as close as possible.